So, in the last class, we were studying about company law and we had taken certain introduction. So, now we shall study about business undertakings. So, what do you mean by business undertakings and how different businesses have evolved in the period of time? Since we know that either an activity which is performed is either economic activity or it is a non-economic activity. So what do you mean by economic? What do you mean by non-economic activity? So economic activity means an activity which is carried out with the intention of earning certain profit out of it. And non-economic activity means those activities which are carried out of love or affection, which does not generate any returns for the person. So, in the business world, everyone does it for having economic returns. So these business undertakings are divided into two. That is economic and non-economic activities. And further, they shall be classified according to their characteristics and features. So, let's begin with business undertakings. Human beings are involved in various kinds of activities. These activities are broadly divided into two categories, economic and non economic. The basic reason behind the economic activity is to generate wealth and to earn money. Selling of goods, manufacturing of goods in the factories, working in a professional offices such as chartered accountants, firms, company secretaries, and lawyers. All such activities are carried on by the concerned people with the basic motive for economic gain. However, in case of non-economic activities of individuals, there is no expectation of monetary gain. So, in economic activities, the activities which are carried out by CA, that is chartered accountants, by company secretaries, by lawyers, by engineers, by doctors, or any other profession, shall be concluded under economic activity, and non-economic activities shall be which are carried out with not having an intention or not having an expectation of monetary gain, which shall be done out of love affection for others. Business, profession, and employment are the three broad categories of economic activities. Out of these three, the range of business activities is wide. So, employment is generated in three broad categories, and they have generated employment, and different business activities are carried on in this process. So, the three main concepts are: first is business, second is profession, and third is employment. So, firstly, let me explain you what is the difference. Firstly, we have seen business. So, what do you mean by a business? Business means a own proprietor or self-employed person. That is, I set up my own business. I do invest my capital. I bring all the required things into the business. This is called as business. Then profession. Profession means what? That's activities which are carried out for a particular profession. Like chartered accountants carry out their own business, or like company secretaries or lawyers, they carry out their own profession, they follow their own profession. Doctors, they follow their own profession. And employment means I am working under a certain person for getting return or for other purposes. So these are the three main classifications. Now further we shall see, according to FC Hopper, business comprises the whole field of commerce and industry. The basic industries, processing and manufacturing industries, the network of ancillary services, distribution, banking, insurance, transport, and so on, which serve and interpenetrate the whole world of business as a whole. Therefore, buying and selling, hiring and firing, producing or financing of all such activities are the instances of business activities. All such business activities are performed by different types of business enterprises. Business enterprises or business undertakings are generally classified on the basis of their ownership in the following manner. So, FC Hopper, what does he say? That business comprises of whole field of commerce and industry. That is the basic objective That is, the basic objective of the business and commerce or industry is to earn profit. In this case, industries and processing means what? That there will be manufacturing, and there shall be ancillary means smaller services which are attached to the business, which shall be banking, which shall be insurance, which shall be transport, or there shall be many others which are interdependent on each other. Why are they interdependent on each other? Because if I am a manufacturer of goods, I need distribution. Means what? I need my goods to be distributed. If I have my transport business, so I need to see to it that I take or I deliver goods from one person to another. So everything is interdependent on each other in commerce and industry. Before buying and selling, hiring or firing, producing or financing, all such activities, all such instances of the businesses are performed by different types of enterprises. So every business enterprise performs various multiple activities which are going on in the world. Then further we shall see that how the business undertakings are classified. So the business undertakings are classified as public sector, private sector and joint sector. Further, we shall study every sector privately, that is in detail. So first one, we have private sector undertakings. In private sector undertakings, we have two parts, which is corporate and non-corporate. Under non-corporate, we have various other aspects which shall be discussed in detail now. So firstly we have, under non-corporate sector we have sole proprietorship business, we have joint Hindu family business, we have partnership, we have joint stock company and we have cooperative society. So we shall first be studying about sole proprietorship business. Now what do you mean by sole proprietorship business? So in sole proprietorship business, there is a single owner. He shall own the business, he shall manage the business, he shall use all the capital that he has, he shall provide all the capital, he shall provide raw material, and he shall set up his own business individually, and he shall carry out all the activities. He shall not be having any person to share profits or losses. How much ever profit or how much ever loss he faces, he shall be responsible for both. The main drawbacks of having a sole proprietorship, that is a small business, is that he shall not be able to increase the capital, he shall not be able to expand his business in much sense. That if he has to expand his business, he has to see to it that he changes or he has some people who are helping him, or there shall be a limited amount of capital for him, so it shall be little difficult to work. Hence sole proprietorship gave rise to partnership firm. In partnership firm, there shall be two or more partners, that is two people shall form partnership, and maximum shall be 20 partners or 10 partners in case of banking business. So what is the definition of partnership? Say when two or more people come together to form a business or to set up a business organization, it is said to be a partnership firm. In partnership firm, every partner shall be given a specific amount of profit ratio. That is, it shall depend upon the amount of capital he has brought, or it shall depend upon the people. They will discuss and they will decide what has to be done and how it shall be done. So in partnership firm, there may be two persons or more persons, but there is a risk in partnership that if one person leaves, then the organization shall break, because he shall take away his own whatever capital he has invested in the business, and there is a case that there can be cheating, or there can or any certain things can happen. There can be some type of fraud in which both the parties get involved, and we shall also see that if in a partnership, if a person dies, if one person dies, the partnership shall get dissolved. So it gave rise to joint Hindu family. Not gave rise, but in India, since they had joint families right from the time ancient times, so they started this concept of joint Hindu family business. Means what? An entire family which has 3 or more generations shall work together and shall take actions. So in joint Hindu family business, there shall be a karta. who shall be head of the business, and there shall be co-partners. Now what shall Karta do? Karta shall take all the responsibilities of the business and shall carry out, and he shall take all the decisions for the business, and the co-partners or the other people shall only be the holders of the company. And as Karta dies, the eldest member of the family shall become the Karta, and the members shall not have rights in case of anything. Karta shall take all the decisions. These people shall only be into the business, as it is a joint Hindu family business. Then we have joint stock company. Now what do you mean by a joint stock company? Joint stock company means where people come together voluntarily. Joint, different people come together. Stock means shares. That is, people shall purchase shares of the company and they shall come together. That is joint stock. And a company means voluntarily they have come together and they have decided to have a business, and it shall be a profit oriented business which shall help the organization, which shall help people to get employment, or which shall help others to grow their profits, and in return every shareholder shall be given something in return. That is, it shall be said dividend, or if they are debenture holders. We shall see about joint stock company in detail further. Then we shall discuss about cooperative society. So now what do you mean by a cooperative society? Cooperative society is a voluntary organization but a non-profit organization. Means what? Cooperative society shall work for the benefit of the people. That is, they shall take money and shall help the people who are in need. We have seen many banks. We see Janta Sahkari Bank. It is written Sahkari means cooperative. So there are various banks which we see in our day-to-day activities, in our day-to-day world. So now we shall see about each of them in detail. The sole proprietorship business is owned, financed and managed by one person only. As I said earlier, it is managed by one person only. The joint Hindu family business is the business carried out by the Hindu undivided family through its manager or Karta. The Karta of the family represents his family. Generally, the manager of a trading family has more powers than the manager of a non-trading family, such as contracting debts, furnishing family properties as securities, etc. So in joint Hindu family, Karta shall be the head or the manager. He shall be called as the Karta, and all the other family members shall represent the family business, and they shall be carrying out the non-trading activities. That is, non-trading activities shall be carried out by these people. Then further we shall see partnership. A partnership is generally formed to combine capital, labor and variety of specialized skills or abilities. The members of the partnership firm agree to share the profits of a business carried on by them. So in a partnership we shall see that they shall combine the capital, labor and variety of specialized skills or abilities. The members of the partnership firm agree to share the profits of the business carried on by them. So in partnership firm, they shall share profits as per decided by the partnership firm. That is, they shall create a proper contract in which they shall write about all the details of the family. Then they shall combine capital. So as we see that in sole proprietorship there is limited amount of capital, hence partnership has more amount of capital as it has more people in it. It shall have less labor. Then partnership firm has more labors. It shall have more specialized skills, like 4 chartered accountants have come together and formed a business. So in that case, there shall be more amount of skill, there shall be more amount of abilities, and also working shall be smooth rather than sole proprietorship. Then they shall agree to sharing of profits and losses. Whatever profits are there or whatever losses are faced by the firm, they shall be equally or according to the ratio of capital shall be divided between them. Then we shall study about partnership firm. The nature of a cooperative form of organization is different from other enterprises because in most cases these organizations are set up with non-profit motive but with the fundamental object of coming together and rendering services for organizations and their members. A cooperative society is basically an association of persons who join together on a voluntary basis for the furtherance of the common economic interest. So, what do you mean by a cooperative society? Cooperative society is a different form. That is, it is a different form of organization which is set up for not for profit, but it is set up for the object of coming together and rendering services for the organization and their members. So in cooperative society all the members shall be given certain services and the objective shall not be earning profit. Cooperative society is basically an association of persons who join together on a voluntary basis for the furtherance of their common economic interest. So, for the common economic interest, these people shall come together. Then, what do you mean by a joint stock company? A joint stock company is the form of organization which is considered to be most suitable for organizing business activities on a large scale, as it does not suffer from limitations of capital and management like other forms of organization. Sole proprietorship and partnership become handicapped in case of unlimited liability, instability, and limited resources. So, why is joint stock company said to be a more a more long running business? Because in this case there is no limitation of capital, in this case there will be no limitation of liability, like it shall have limited liability. Every person who has invested in the business shall have his liability till the amount he has invested. Then instability means what? That if the partners die, or in joint stock or in a regular sole proprietorship business, if a person is not able to carry on activity, so he shall decide to shut the business. But in a joint stock company that shall not be the case, because it is a long running business and people shall be joining and leaving the business as per their requirement. Further, therefore, the limitations of these two forms of organizations, the complexity of modern business and the need of large-scale production necessitated the emergence of joint stock company form of business organization. So, as it is said that every problem comes out with a new solution. So, since sole proprietorship did not work, since it had its own limitations, then they started partnership. But in partnership also they saw there were many other difficulties. So partnership faced difficulties like unlimited liability, instability, limited resources, and many more. Therefore, the limitations of these two forms of organizations have given a need to joint stock company, that is something new more which had more options to be done. So the it can avail large amount of funds along with the benefit of reducing for its contributors. Due to this, it becomes feasible for for large number of people to share their ownership of a business. This form of organization is also suitable with your business also suitable when your business requires heavy capital investment, professional expertise, and technical knowledge. A joint stock company is popularly known as a company. So, a joint stock is popularly known as a company. And what does it mean? What are the features of a company? What is the definition of a company? We shall be studying about all this in detail further. So, now let us start what is a company, and then we shall study what is a body corporate. So, here we have first is company. Company is said to be an artificial person created by law having a separate entity with a perpetual succession and a common seal. So, what do you mean? Firstly, what do you mean by a company? So, company means an artificial person which is created by law. That is, company is a person. It is given supernatural person that is created by law, that is artificial person, not a natural person, artificial person which is created by law, which shall have its own separate entity. So what does this mean? That separate entity means it shall not be concluded, or it shall not have any owner or any person who is named as the owner of the business or who shall be carrying out the business. It shall be taken care by different individuals, and anything or any transaction which shall be carried out shall have the name of the company. Hence, when there is any fraud or anything, company shall be blamed and not the people. After company, the people who are responsible shall be blamed. So it shall be created, it is an artificial person which shall be created by law, having a separate entity. So the company shall have a separate entity, and the person who are involved in the company shall have a different entity, or shall be identified differently. With a perpetual succession, what do you mean by perpetual succession? Perpetual succession means it shall be carried on for generations together, and it shall be carried forward even if the owner or even if the persons working go away, still the company shall keep on working and have a common seal. Common seal means what? A signature. A proper signature or a stamp of the company shall always be available in the company, and it shall, every document which is forwarded from the company shall have its seal. Then the concept of a company. The word company is derived from the Latin word com, that is with or together, and pennies, that is bread, which means a group of person or traders discussing matters and taking food together. So what do you mean? In the earlier times, when the Latin word company was derived, it said come means with or together, that is a group of people when they came together and had their bread together, or they took their food together. Persons or traders means what? A person who or people who are interested in carrying out business, or who are interested in discussing matters, they came together, they had their food or they took their bread together. This is called as a so they started this word company. Hence, we can say that the word company in its literary sense conveys the idea of togetherness. A company in a broad sense can be defined as an association of individuals formed for some common purpose. That means the term company is used to represent associations formed to carry on some business for profit, or to promote art, science, education, or some charitable purpose. Hence, such association may or may not be incorporated as per the provisions of the law. So, what does this mean? That in the broader sense, since the time when the company, this word company came into existence, it meant that togetherness, that is to bring individuals together and to form or to promote any of the activities related to art, science, commerce, education, or charitable purpose. Hence, such association may be incorporated as per the provisions, or may not be incorporated as per the provisions of the law. An incorporated company is a single person distinct from individuals constituting it. However, an incorporated company would be a mere collection or association of persons, like a partnership. So they say that if a company is not incorporated as per the law or as per the rules, then it shall be called as association of persons which are formed like a partnership firm. It shall not be called as a company. Therefore, it is said that a company is a corporate body and a legal person with status and personality distinct and separate from the members constituting it. So, it shall be incorporated by a single person, distinct individual constituting it. However, an incorporated company would be a mere collection of association of persons. So it shall be called as a mere association of different person. And therefore, if an organization or if a group of people needs to be called as a company, they have to incorporate it as per the law. I hope you have understood till here. Now we shall move further. Now I shall explain you what do you mean by a body corporate. So what do you mean by body corporate? The term body corporate refers to companies incorporated in India as well as to the foreign companies. It also refers to all public corporations and financial institutions including the nationalized banks but excludes cooperative society. So what do you mean by a body corporate? Body corporate means what? That all the public corporations, that is public corporations means what? The corporations which are established or which have been established uh, since the earlier times, that is the nationalized banks but excludes cooperative society. They shall exclude cooperative. So an association of individuals can become an artificial person by completing a process prescribed by law. So any person who wants to become an company, or who wants to be a association of individuals who together want to form a company or a body corporate shall complete all the process which is prescribed by law. An artificial person is therefore a creation of law. An artificial person having acquired its existence through the process of law is generally called a body corporate. That is, if an artificial person has having acquired its existence, that is, it has come into existence through the process of law, is called as a body corporate. The legal process by which it is created is called as a incorporation. So it shall be called as a incorporation or a body corporate. Then we shall see in India one of the legal processes to bring such body into existence is the enactment of a special legislation, and another is by way of registration with the Registrar of Companies. Under the Companies Act, therefore, in India, the body corporate is called a corporation if created by enactment of a special legislation, and it is called a company or a joint stock company if created through registration with the Registrar of Companies. So, what do you call it a joint stock company, and when do you call it a body corporate? You call it a body corporate when it is formed under a special legislation by way of its registration under Registrar of Companies, and a company shall be formed under either it is registered with Companies Act 1956 or Companies Act 2013. Only then it shall be called as a joint stock company, or it shall be called as a company. It shall be called as a body corporate when there is a special legislation, that is special act is passed and special rules and regulations are used. It is termed as joint stock company because it combines financial resources from several persons to build a common stock of funds belonging to the contributors. The members of a body corporate need not necessarily be only individuals. It is quite possible that body corporate has other body corporate as its members. Means what? That in body corporate, it need not be that the persons who have contributed or persons who have provide financial resources are the members, but it also can be that that other body corporates which are already in existence shall also become the members of these corporates. So now here we have understood what do you mean by a body corporate. Now in the next class I shall be taking up about company and what is the meaning, nature and all the other things in detail about the company. So we shall stop here. Thank you.